So my name is Eavaun and I am a Dexter farmer living here in the 2 Street village of Dundrum in South Tipperary in Ireland. It's in an area of Ireland called the Golden Vale, which has the richest lime-rich soil and lush grasses in the whole of this country. We see Killenure Castle as a site for cultural and historical celebration, and our aspirations for the site is to continue the legacy of not only the castle and the community, but the Dundrum herd of Dexters, which is very unique and very rare herd of cattle. And we actually have the original genetics now, which we're really celebrating and really proud of. Back in around circa 1780, Christopher Dexter lived here in the small village of Dundrum, and he devised the breed of Dexter, which he then called after himself. And what he was trying to achieve at the time was good confirmation on cattle for small families on small holdings. After about 20 years, he achieved this true breed, Dexter cattle, which is now considered a rare breed in Ireland. What you'll probably notice about the physicality of the animal straight away is that some people suggest that they're quite small for bovines, but actually that's the size an Irish bovine should be. The other cattle that people are used to seeing are continental breeds that have been multiply crossed over the years. But Dexters are a native Irish breed. They've never been commercially farmed, and so they've just been left to their own devices. They are exactly the physical size today that they would have been nearly 300 years ago. And they also taste the same. They have the same muscle memory today as they would have nearly 300 years ago, because nobody has corrupted them. Back in the 1980s, in the history of Ireland, there was only 28 Dexters recorded in the agricultural books. We put a really extraordinary effort into trying to locate the original genetics of the Dexter to bring them back to their home here in Dundrum. It was fortunate timing that I came here to Killenure Castle to help this breed, because they were just about to go extinct for the 3rd time in Irish history. There's still less than 2,000 of them left in this country. So Dexter are a dual-purpose animal. They're a very good beef animal and a really good milker. And they have a very specific heritage milk, which is A2. In fact, their genetics are so pure, you will taste today in the meat exactly what you would have tasted nearly 300 years ago. We have omega-3, 6s and 9s, which is most unusual. You'll only find that in very rare heritage breeds. They're a very feral animal. They have quite a wild personality, and they're naturally foragers, so they gravitate towards the minerals in ivies or heathers or native Irish grasses. So you can actually taste all that within the fibres of their meat at the end of the day. We don't force feed them on. We don't feed them anything they would never have eaten historically. We just leave them to their own devices.
Hi, my name is Seamus Ryan. And today we are mowing grass, as you can see in the background. The purpose of this is to conserve silage for the winter months. The winter lasts approximately 120 days. What we have here today is native Irish breeds: Timothy, Meadowfescue, Cocksfoot. Because this is an Irish grown grass and they are native breeds, the Dexters seem to do exceptionally well on it. We feed this over the winter with no meals, and the cattle really do fatten well on it.
The genesis of any really good beef product will always start in the soil and the health of the soil, and we're incredibly lucky here in the Golden Vale to have one of the best soils in the entire world. It's very clean, there's no residuals because we had no industrial revolution in this country ever. We don't even have nuclear energy. And so we have really clean air, really clean water and really clean soil, which in turn gives you fantastic quality lush grasses. And that is really influential on the beef at the end of the day.
We in Ireland were so lucky to have super ground here in this area, especially. It's great soil. The different types of mixtures. They eat it and they're happier eating it, and they gain weight easier, and that's the whole reason for that. And it's grass in Ireland, that's just the way to go, and try to avoid feeding meal if I can at all, and still have them gaining proper weight, and that's what it's about.
It's extremely important to keep the animals relaxed all through their lives, through when they're born, also through their teenage years, into their adulthood. If you have the same people handling them at the very, very end, they don't get stressed or traumatized because they're happy, and that's extremely important.
I would go up every morning about 6 o'clock and it's pitch dark, and I just move the electric fence, and they get so used to me that they start licking me, really, you know. So it's absolutely fabulous way of life. And the main thing I find, if they have a dry lie, that they're happy, and once they're happy, they gain weight all the time. It's just so easy and so natural.
We're very passionate about conservation process. Part of our effort is to harvest all the hides off the cattle, and when we have enough, they go to a really small tannery outside Florence, where they get tanned into beautiful refined Dexter leather. They then come back to Ireland, and we have a friend of ours who's a really, really good leather maker, make designer leather goods. We're the only people in Ireland producing beef charcuterie at all, and the earthy taste of the Dexter gives a really, really long-lasting explosion on the tongue. The story of Killenure Castle Dexter is more than just a story about the survival of the breed. It's now become a story about the survival of small artisanal farmers, the rural narrative, sense of identity for people, and what we've had to battle against to do what we're doing. So my vision for Dundrum Dexter in the next decade is that at least every second farmer in the village will be farming Dexter, something like what they do in Rioja in Spain. It will help everybody's morale. It will really give a great sense of identity to future generations. It will celebrate the legacy not only of the community, but the breed, the terroir of the product, the geographical area here, this beautiful Golden Vale that we're living in. And I think at the end of the day, if we all synergise together, all boats will float.